Hello, everyone. Welcome back. For my next interview, I have Mrs. Anu Benakatti, and um, she is an inspiring media leader, host, and a community voice here based in Dallas. Originally from Karnataka, a region known for legendary musicians like Bhimsen Joshi, very famous. If you don't know, he's a very famous male Hindustani singer. Uh, she grew up surrounded by a deep appreciation for both music and culture. But what makes her journey especially unique is her blend of science and storytelling, holding academic degrees in biology and reproductive science, while also building a powerful career as as a television anchor, radio host, and the voice behind the global Gupshup. She has hosted major cultural events, led community initiatives, and used her platform to spread awareness on important topics like health, education, and social impact. From music and media to meaningful community work, Anu Benakatti truly represents the connection between creativity and purpose. Really excited to have you here today. Welcome once again. And I'll just give a little quick intro about myself again. Uh, my name is Atharva. I'm 14 years old. I'm here based in Frisco, Texas. I go to Jones Middle School. A little in my musical background, I've been learning Hindustani classical music for about 2 to 3 years. And now I recently started Carnatic music. I've been learning for about 2 to 3 months. And it was actually out of the blue where I came up with this passion project. Me and my dad were just sitting in the car and we were just thinking, we were just listening to Arjit Singh, one of my favorite musicians, honestly. I could go days talking about him. But on that day, I was really happy. It was actually my first Carnatic music class. We just came back and we were just discussing, oh my god, music can make someone so happy, can also make someone sad, it can make someone feel less stressed. And then it just clicked out of there. Can music, maybe specifically Hindustani or Carnatic classical music, actually influence people and reduce chronic health conditions like high stress, high blood pressure, fatigue, or any other long-term illnesses? So my goal for this interview is just to deep dive on that idea and better understand it through your experience. I'm really interested in learning from experts like you and hearing your perspective on whether this is something worth studying further. So without further ado, let's begin. Sorry, did I cut you off?
Thank you, Arthur, for the nice introduction, and I'm excited. So go ahead.
Yep. So, this is one of my long-awaited questions. I was actually very shocked that you grew up in the surrounding of Bhimsen Joshi. Is that really true?
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so coming from, a land for these legendary musicians, how did it affect you, in that environment, shaping your connection with music?
Excellent question to begin with. Yes, the this part of Karnataka called Dharwad. It's a very well-known place for not just the musicians, the poets, the writers, and actors, and you name it. There is a say that goes on that every house on their roof written one or the other talent's name on it. That's how it is. And if you have heard the award-winning author Dara Bendre is also from Dharwad, and Savai Gandharv that he is, and Gangubai Hangal, a musician, is also from there. So there is a wonderful influence there. The funny thing is when you're growing up like as a child, that you probably don't know that like how important or how valuable those person, but you kind of get like drawn to them. It's like when you have it in you. As a matter of fact, I used to feel a little bit of a it's like why my parents just, take me. So sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
like in the beginning, before you even, taste it, and it's like, it is very waste of time. Why am I sitting here for an hour and listening to this boring music? You know what I'm saying? So but when after I started learning Hindustani music a little bit, it was very, like a soul filling. Like it just, you get into that one without even you knowing it, and you start listening to it, because classical music is not everybody's forte, everybody's cup of tea. Just like, you have to get into that one, and then you start enjoying it. But um yes, it really did a great, like a positivity bring in role in bringing in me positivity while growing up, because with the, like a lot of work in studies and everything, just spending a little time learning, and then, experiencing, and then also singing yourself, it
Mm-hmm.
really give you a peace of mind and also calms you down. So yes, it definitely did a great influence on me.
Have you went to one of his like concerts or
Oh,
recitals?
absolutely, absolutely. Himjen Joshi and his disciple Madhav Gudi, they used to perform all the time, because in the hometown, like I know they moved to Pune after that, like they didn't stay, used to stay very often. But whenever that his concerts, like, there used to be a house concerts too, since my parents were involved with his family as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was very lucky enough to experience some of those, as a child, his performances, and, just a small little, without any music or any kind of a, the background, like whatever the supporting team, he's still just bhajans or some kind of
Mm.
a abhang, like, he used to sing that, and we really enjoyed it. One of his favorite ones is, the Marathi Abhang you must have heard. I don't know if you have.
I don't think so.
Maza Mahera Pandari. That is one of his very favorite song that
Might have to
everyone
give
love
that a
it.
listen.
Yes, absolutely.
But did you learn, you said you mentioned learning Hindustani classical music. Did you learn it from him or was it from a different teacher in the surrounding?
No, I did not learn it from him. My first guru is my mom, because, I
Oh.
started learning from her. And then, yes, I did have another teacher for a few years that, yes, I did learn Hindustani music. Not very intense, like a long term, but um, good enough to give me the very strong foundation to learn about the Hindustani music. Yes.
So, my next question is, on a personal level, how does music play a role in your life, in your daily life?
Um, on a daily life, like I said, my mom is my first guru. So she used to sing a lot of vachanas, like, the
Mm,
that is one of the, the music form of a teachings of Lord Vasavana, that actually um you listen to it, and then some very strong message is going to be depicted out of that saying. And my first songs were not like a Bollywood or a Kannada film
mm,
songs. The ones that I've learned was more of a bhajans and vachanas. And and some of them are very difficult, because these Vachanakara, means like the who wrote those, had a deep meaning to it. And for a normal person, it's very difficult to understand. So whenever that I heard growing up, it was very, how do you say, like it really got me into more and more deeper, like, and I want to listen more, I want to learn more
mm-hmm.
of that. And every day I used to hear her singing, and then I used to ask the meaning of it. And then on top of that, more of like listening to that music, I was more interested in like what is the meaning of that, because some of them are very difficult Kannada words that really meant very deep meaning. So that is like a guidance to your life kind of a
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I
Is
really enjoyed it.
is Kannada also part of Hindustani? Because I think it was more part of Carnatic, or was it just you were just practicing bachanas? Or,
Okay, so Hindustani can be applied to any languages. Like, the many songs are written originally that were sung in Hindustani ragas. right? So, and there are morning ragas, afternoon, evening ragas, though they actually started singing these vachanas in those ragas. So there was no such thing as, like I just told you, that Marathi Abhang. Those are also like the Pandarapur god, so, um, and that is also like sung in a lot of Hindustani music, and a lot of other like songs of what do you call, the Hollywood, I mean, sorry, Bollywood, and also the sandalwood, what they call it as a Kannada music for movies.
Hmm.
They also have a very strong classical, the foundation of the music that's taken from Hindustani.
Yeah, so my next one is just a little more on the personal impact. Have you
Mhm.
ever listened to music and there have been moments where it's helped you, emotionally or mentally during stressful times?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because, like I said, when growing up, you go through emotional roller coaster sometimes because you're still
Hmm.
learning. At certain age that you really don't know um, to differentiate right or wrong, or just making the decisions that's very difficult, right? So sometimes, like you sit down and you know put the thoughts aside, and then you just listen to the music to keep yourself away from, like, it's almost like avoiding the
Hmm.
reality. Sometimes it really helps, and but the music also has its own way to soothe your like brain cells, I think, which probably you don't know that, and without knowing it, that you actually apply to your system. And yeah, it really plays a great role in, especially the exam stress, or anything that like listening too much to your parents pep talk, like, don't do this, don't do that. So all of those things sometimes come in a way. And you just, like, just shut down your brain, and you're just like, okay, this is my music and I'm going to listen for a
Hmm.
while, then clear your way, then I'll move forward. Or it's just to get away from that.
Yeah, I'm always listening to Arjit Singh. It's just
Yes.
either him or nothing. So my
Yes.
parents have been, getting a little fed up with me, but I don't really care,
No,
to be
no.
honest.
No, you have your idol. I think we all need some direction to just, get what we want. And I think that's a great way to achieve, by following just, just one of that what your minds, teaches you.
So, from your experience in community and your involvement in one of the concerts or any music recitals that you've organized, have you seen music, bring people together, or maybe they have told you, oh my God, this was so stress relieving. It felt amazing. The music and the ambience was like it helped me like reduce stress or like has that ever happened in real life situations for you?
Um, I I mean, like, some of the things that I can recollect, and I mean, there is a saying that I'm sure that you have heard tons of times, like, music has no language, no religion, or no place, or like it's a global
Mm-hmm.
icon that you can actually use it anywhere, that you can go however you want, and whichever the language is, it always connects people. There is no doubt about it. Um, so mainly because there is no difference, to be honest with you, because the seven notes that are same globally, that you cannot change, no matter which, whether you say do re mi or you say sa re ga ma, it just connects you, right? It just
Mm-hmm.
is the same. And whatever the deviation, whatever the alteration, whatever the creativity that you do with it, which language or which place or where you apply it, um, it turned out to be a good music. And
Mm-hmm.
bringing people together, yes. Let me talk a little bit about that one, is like the connecting to Gen X, Gen Z, or even like, old timers. What it does is it has its own way to connect, right? So um, some of the music that some of the like older generation like is like they call them as evergreen songs, and it does not mean the new generation will not make it into a pop music and they still sing it and they still enjoy it. The another example of that is a if you think about the choir, right? The
Mm-hmm.
choir is a type of music that actually you can sing a different writings or a praising the Jesus or something like any other form of a like even in a movies that they actually use that. So the choir also connects a lot of people in a different way. The same thing as any of these pop culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's intense music, it's not as soft, it's not religious, it's not a choir, but it's still, there are so many people who are um, into that intense music, especially the guitar and, all those instruments. So, yes, I have. There is a very classic example. The concert that I have attended is called Agam. You may want to just explore that. The
Mm-hmm.
Agam is a type of a band that exists in here in United States of America. So they take the classical music and they fusion it into a sometimes the rap music, or not
Mm-hmm.
exactly rap but the modern music, I would say, fusion of
Okay.
it. And a lot of us are a big fan of it, like, so yes, it definitely has connected people in like attending. I've seen many non-Indians attending those because they've learned in a different way, but yes, it has connected people through the music. I hope it answered your question.
Yeah, I might have to go and check that
Yes, the
concert
Agam
out.
team, yes. One of the privileges that I had was to connect this team to one-on-one, being in the front for a media. So I had an opportunity to talk to them, their experience and things. So it really gives you a very different perspective of how
Mhm.
musicians see that music in their, performance.
So let's to move on to a little more focus on my goal
Mhm.
is can from with your perspective and experience, can music affect physical and mental health? And if yes, how?
Okay. Music can help or connect physical. Okay, let me think. Yes. Let me start with a mental health. Let's take
Mm-hmm.
that. Being a reproductive biology student, and like I want to talk about one of my favorite ingredient. I should say, like it's called oxytocin. Okay, so that's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite hormone, and I would say neurotransmitter. So what it does is it actually helps a lot in connecting people.
Mm-hmm.
So, not only that, it makes a humongous change in your own body when the sound waves or any kind of a music that reaches to your brain. It really really makes a I mean, like, a considerable change in your physical as well as emotional status. So, but in talking about the physical, um, sometimes I think I have to say, I'm trying to remember in science of Ayurveda, I think, and they use music as one of the therapy to cure a lot of physical disabilities, like it's called. If I'm correct, it's called Raga Chitra something. I hope I'm right, because that is one of the therapy that, because I also work with several of these yoga organizations to, help them out a little bit. And there are certain musical instruments, and by playing that one, it actually gives you the waves of the sound that changes the it reaches to your brain where it releases the oxytocin to bring, it's called a happy hormone. It's,
Mm-hmm.
like and they also call that one as a love hormone, so many names for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it really brings a huge change in a probably not very long run, but yes, continued treatment with that. So yes, music has a great impact on both physical and emotional, mental, the status of a human being. So it's been used from ancient ages to now to, make things better in human life.
Yeah, so you were saying that in one of your events they were using music for therapy, or
Mhm.
could you describe like how the event was, like the
Yeah.
ambiance, what you guys did in order to make it
Mhm.
so it's a therapy or like emotional relieving session?
Yeah. I will portray it right. So what it does is there are certain instruments that actually were given to everyone, like you sit in a circular pattern, or where you can see each other, or you can hear each other, or you can experience each other. So if it is a combination of a two or three instruments, like it is just like a music team of a musicians. It's like a something that improv. That's like a just you give it to them right then and there. So what happens is, that music has its own structure, the rhythm, the sound, and also the pattern, all of that one. So in order to follow that, like the whoever is a person who is treating this, they give this one to the person who is sitting in front of you, and that music aligned with each other's brain, like it kind
Mm-hmm.
of goes in a very smooth way. So you get involved in something, and it goes through your eardrums, and it reaches to your brain, and it gives you an aura of like a very soothing feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and coordination of everyone else, because you're paying attention and you're experiencing that intense moment that you're actually creating that music. So that is a very the healing feeling of, like the music that they actually give you. Then there is a specific separate, what do you call, the chapter in that Ayurveda medicine that uses for a lot of, I think, autism and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They use it to cure that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like it's the same setup for like the autism kids. Like have those type of people attended those type of sessions?
I personally have not, actually, but I have attended these sessions myself to experience it. Like every year, there are a lot of yoga melas that are happening here, and I'm part of it. And the taking the lead role to, sometimes being the presenter. So, and that actually, yeah, gave me a lot of I can't on top of my head think of the name of those instruments, but there are few. There are like a or like a concho, like the one that actually you blow in front of the god, that one, and then the shaker is kind of like with the um the seeds in it. So there are very different kind of instruments that they have. It really gives you a very different feeling when you listen to it.
Yeah, so this is my last question.
Mhm.
So if you had to summarize, can music truly be considered as medicine? Why or why not?
Hmm. Okay. My answer is yes and no too, because um, medicine and music are like a complement to each other. Like they go hand in hand, because um, medicine is like a, it has its own strong, the um facts, real facts, that like you have to give that specific type of a medicine to cure something, or a treatment, or something like you have to go through a surgery to cure something else. But in order to healing process, that music can be used, because your body do not just get cured by the music. So medicine definitely has its own different way,
Mm.
but the music is a very strong supporting the power of healing with the medicine, is what I feel.
Hey, that is something different that I've heard. The
Uh-huh.
last two interviews, they were saying that, yeah, music is definitely medicine, but it's good to hear something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my interview. I hope you like it. I
Just
tried.
to add, since you said that, I want to add that one, because in modern age, like, we got to be realistic, because the
Mm-hmm.
cancer cannot be cured by music, because they both have their very prominent role in their
Mm-hmm.
own place, right? And when you use a combination of both, the process would be more effective. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I think you will have a very strong stand in, like, you know what to use where, in order to make it more effective, and
So
the
if I'm
healing.
like understanding what you're saying, instead of just either music or medicine, you're saying use both of them for more effective. Okay.
Right. Hmm.
I can
I mean,
also.
that's I can, yeah, that's what I feel, because whenever that I do the interviews, and then I can tell my um heart, like, I can create, for example, that if I'm telling you that, okay, music is your, and I can sing it, and then I can make you experience that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then it is a totally a different external effect for your body to feel it and to do that. But when I tell the story of, like, this medicine only works for this specific, for example, we went through pandemic, it was a very strong, the difficult time that the whole
Yeah.
entire globe that we went through, and it was not a small thing to do. So you cannot just tell that, okay, the only the music. So yeah, certain things can be healed with the music, but, like, medical has its own place, and
Yeah.
music has its own different place.
Yeah, I will definitely take that into consideration in my analysis.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was my interview. I tried to keep it short, and sweet.
Anytime.
Yeah. So I'll be reaching out to you if I have any questions. And
Anytime.
yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for your time. And yeah,
It's pleasure, Ather, and I wish you all the best. Thank you
thank you.
for having me.